Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
So it went good yesterday?
Yeah, we didn't catch anything, but we marked them.
That's awesome. So had they never been ice fishing before?
Never, ever.
Oh, how fun.
So, and I put it on, because Vea uses a Garmin Striker.
Yeah.
So I put it where the fish show up as the ID on the traditional instead of the flasher.
Oh, okay.
So that way, if the kids got excited because, of course, fish came through, but nothing bit. But me and him were outside, and fuck, we thought they had 3 fish on the damn line.
I love it. That's so awesome.
He
what time did you go out?
2:30.
Okay.
I got hung up a little bit. I was hoping to be on the lake by 2, but
things happen.
And traffic, we hit a couple whiteouts on the way over. And
did you?
Yeah, driving back was worse. I did about 50 the whole way back.
Yikes. And you said you were a couple hours away.
Wausau. Normal is a 2-hour drive. It took us 3 on the way home.
So who was it? It was a veteran, and was it somebody else in their family?
It was, he's retiring in February. Okay. And then it was him, his wife, and their 2 daughters.
Oh, how fun. Did Nevaeh go with you?
Huh?
Did Nevaeh go with you?
Nevaeh and Bentley went with. Which worked out because their one daughter is like Bentley and can't sit still. So we just let them go fuck around in the ice,
Sure. That's awesome. And it's awesome for your kids to be able to see, hey, we're going out and, doing things for other people. Like, what better example can we give than that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't see Lee, but I think he came on. Lee, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
You can't see me?
Well,
I can.
When I'm on my phone, I can only see the person that's talking.
Hey, Dork, swipe your phone. Do you got the 3 dots on the bottom?
Yeah.
Swipe over once. Now do you see everybody? And whoever's talking highlights in green? Durr.
Look at you. You're a genius. That's hilarious. Hey, and who's the technology whiz here? I'm out. You're in charge. I'm checking out. Bye. Why you been holding out on me?
I thought you knew that.
It's actually really funny. There's been at least 3 or 4 times in the last couple months where somebody's like, my phone just is not ringing. It's silent. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, did you just get a new phone? They're like, well, not really recently. It just never rings. I'm like, do you move that little button that's on the side? What button? I'm like, it's the one under your case that turns your volume on and off. And every single one's like, I didn't even know that was there. I'm like, what? Really funny. Oh well, that's why
Yeah.
it takes a village, Cody. It takes a village.
It does.
It's technology stuff. That's awesome, dude. I wish I would have known that like 9 months ago.
Well, whenever you see the little buttons at the bottom, I don't know, but my mind is intriguing. So I always, well, what the hell does this do?
Well,
It's like a tab on a damn Excel sheet.
I pushed the buttons, but it gave me emojis. So I've done that before, but I've never just like swiped. It doesn't say just swipe.
Well,
there
nowadays
you
you
go.
got to push and swipe.
That doesn't even sound good.
I put you reading my mind. I'm like, I'm not even gonna go there. We're gonna keep this not R-rated. Whoever's watching. So anyway, so the good news is I was looking at the budget and seeing what we got for donations. Tammy Mackey, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, from Stockbridge. I talked about her last week. She's with the Coldwell Real Estate Group. Tiffany Holtz, she made $1,000 donation for us towards our lodging.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, super nice. And so she had called yesterday. She's actually going somewhere for the holiday to visit her son. One of her sons is still active. So she's going to be gone a couple of weeks. But what she said was to really, piece together some of the missing, the buckets that we still need to have filled, which obviously to me are, okay, we're talking shanties, but the 2 meals to finish getting those sponsored, because the pig roast, you said only half of it's sponsored, correct?
Well, yeah, I haven't made it back in contact with that lady yet.
Oh,
To
the
see
other
about-
lady that was potentially going to sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. So I'm going to say half of the pig and then all of the roast beef sandwiches or the meal, whatever we're going to do at Cosmos on Saturday, that's open. So I think we kind of said, I told her roughly $1,000 because we have to start somewhere. If we figure on a $10 plate, 100 veterans coming in, at least we start there and then go from there. So we've got that. And then obviously the rest of the lodging. So what we have right now, so my total need that I'm estimating on this is, flight for a couple of out of towners. Our hotel charge is the biggest. That's like around $4,800. However, I do want to preface that by saying that's for 4 nights. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Assuming that some of them will still want to stay on Sunday night if they live really far away. But
Yeah.
some are in Wisconsin and they're going to want to go on Sunday night. When they go, they're just going to go home. So when it gets closer, I'm going to figure out what rooms I can cancel, and I may not need quite as many. So that could come down just a little bit. I did factor in a little bit for like, gas. If we have volunteers that are like, hey, I'll do some running around or I'll do this or that. But even you guys, that are running around on nights, I'd like to be able to get some reimbursement gas cards or whatever that might be. So I budgeted in like 500 for a miscellaneous, like, who knows, you're running around and you need something. And, that way, I don't think we're going to need a terrible amount of volunteers, but if the veterans themselves are like, hey, I'm driving and I'm driving around when I'm here, maybe give them a card with $50 or something for gas, back and forth. Meals, I have $1,500 budgeted in there because, at the planning stage, that's basically $50 per veteran per day as like a rough estimate for, a breakfast, a lunch, and then a meal. But I think for the most part, if we get the dinners sponsored and Friday nights free, I think the cost of food should be pretty minimal when it comes down to it. I do have potentially another lead on buns also, buns and donuts. Printing, obviously I'm having to print more posters, some banners, which that's kind of upfront cost that the banners we're going to be able to use every year. So although we're going to have to pay for them this year, I was kind of thinking about that. I'm like, how do I make a banner that potentially we can just add some like logo stickers to that are like removable so you can keep using the same banner. I suppose you could always put a sticker over it.
Yeah.
Like if
Do
you have
like a common blue as a background, that we can have a vinyl square cut and have that as a backdrop if their logo don't meet the same size.
yeah, or they're in one year and they're not in the next year or whatever the case is. Either way, I want to get some banners that we can order this year and just keep reusing them.
Yeah.
So all in all, total based on those things, that's not counting any shanty rentals, is like $9,240. Right now we have $4,811. So that's not too bad, I don't think, because we're factoring in also that, Lee, did you get your raffle tickets?
I just got them today.
Okay, good. Raffle tickets, the basket raffles that we're gonna have on Saturday, the way that Cody and I are gonna be hitting the ground on, looking for monetary donations and more sponsorship. We're gonna have a 50-50 raffle. We'll have some t-shirts and stuff for sale. I have zero doubt that we'll be getting donations during the process. Typically, that's what happens when we have retreats is people come along and they're like, how are you doing this? And you say it's on donations, and then somebody flips you $50 or $100 or whatever the case might be. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. But like I said, so Cody and I, the first 2 weeks are gonna hit the ground running hard on getting more sponsorship and stuff. And I'm gonna evaluate my sponsorship donations through House in the Woods recently. 2,000 of that is two people that I already designated who had made donations to House in the Woods for a veteran, and I just designated it as a Sturgeon spearing sponsorship. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to look and see if there's been any other decent sized donations lately that I can link them up as a sponsorship too, because part of it is whoever sponsors, they'll get pictures and stuff of the veteran that they sponsor. So they get kind of a more of an up close personal look at what's happening. And then they're more likely to, to stay in as donors in the future. And it just works good. They're really liking that. It's kind of like I always compare it to the adopt a child videos that you see, like if you get handwritten notes from a kid and pictures, and it means a lot more when you can see who the person is that you're sponsoring. So I'm trying to line up some major donors with veterans that they're supporting so they can see what's happening,
Yeah.
So I'll see if there's some more donations in there recently that are decent size that I could line up for the sponsorship. So that's going on.
What? 48 or some shit like that emails before the holiday.
What's that?
I blasted out 48 emails before the holiday. So
yeah, and I'm gonna start post. One thing I wanted to ask you, Cody, and I don't know, this is probably a question for Jason. Is it legal with the gaming commission to actually post about raffle tickets online?
Everyone else does.
I know. Maybe I'll just ask him.
Yeah, you want her or you want me to?
If you want to, just because we already put him on the hot seat, so I don't want to.
Yeah. Hey, we don't want to burn your ass again.
I don't want to cause any more kerfluffles. We want to do it the right way. I'm not saying buy the tickets online. I'm just saying, hey, here's who has them. I'm going to update it and say now Lee has them. Pretty soon Jason will have them. And all the places in Stockbridge have them. What? Like an advertisement. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm not saying them buy them online because that you can't do, but
yeah.
But go to these places, contact these people, and get raffle tickets. So
yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So then let's go back to the shanty discussion. Yesterday, just an update on the vets. Yesterday, I got a message from one of the veterans who you guys probably know, when the VA schedule an appointment, they don't ask you when you want it. They just give it to you and you just have to go.
Yeah.
It happens to fall on the Sturgeon Spear. He's one of our veteran retreat, or he's one of our organizers for another organization, not one of our organizers, but he's an organization leader, which is really too bad because it was going to be a great opportunity. So unfortunately, one isn't coming now. And you have that. There's usually always,
Well,
10% that won't come.
Is he out of state?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Texas.
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, he was planning on driving. So unfortunately, unless something changes, I said, well, you're the only one that can use the ticket. So, or the tag. So I said, if something changes and they move your appointment, plan to come. So that brings us down to 19, which still puts us in meeting 5 shanties. But because I think I mentioned to you, Cody, I got my hands on a pink shanty after our call last week. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 veterans that still need shanties. So I did send a message to the Quinny Fishing Club. I know Dennis was going to be going to their next meeting and he was going to bring it up. So I said, what?
I'm going to go to that one.
Oh, you are too? So you'll both be there. Okay. So
Just
maybe
that way they can have a little more answers if they got any questions.
Good. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. So who knows if there's people with just, some shanties later. I did talk to Paul about, how he felt about after the fact, if knock on wood, if we did get things paid for, or if the end of the season comes and I put a post out saying, hey, do you have a shanty laying around that you haven't used that you would consider donating or giving to us at a good price, kind of building up a stockpile of our own shanties so that, because I said it's like anything else. People are generously allowing us to come in and use theirs, but that's not what they're going to want to do every year. I'm like, we're going to have to get I think other people, once they see more of it and they hear more about it, and that I think we're going to get more people that would be open to it, but it is kind of that like magical, can we get them all in the same spot that Lee has going on for us this year? That
here's my question, Lee. You know those hub ice shanties?
Yep.
Can we make one of them work if we absolutely have to?
Oh yeah. You can.
What is it?
One of the hub ice shanties.
The pop-up shanties like we talked, like I said to you last week, I said if worst comes to worst, we can do that.
Okay.
The only thing is if you get super cold weather or if it's really windy, you gotta have a good way to anchor it down or whatever. But yeah, they're like I was telling Angie, I know guys that went out in years past when the ice got so bad, they'd take big cardboard boxes and sit in those.
But doesn't the spear have to be way above the hole, or how far above the hole do you have it?
Well, the head of the spear is in the water.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to, like when you throw the spear.
Don't you laugh over there. I see you. Now that I can see you all, I see you laughing over there. Yeah, go ahead.
You don't want the water to splash because that'll scare the fish and then you can't see where you're throwing. So the head of the spear is in the water and then you just push it down.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to have to see. We got to give lessons.
Yeah, it's not going to be me. Well, that's one of the things is that Thursday night is like, who's going to want to talk about what, and maybe some of the folks from Quinny Fishing Club, somebody might want to, be present and be part of that conversation. So,
or even Friday during cut-in.
That was my other thing I was going to say, because I'll be there that Thursday night, for sure, so I can go through a lot of the stuff if there's nobody else there to do it. But like he said, Friday, once we get cut in and you have a hole and they can actually see the shanty, that might even actually make more sense to them than trying to explain it, just
this way, they'll grasp it better if they see it than hearing it.
Right.
yeah.
Right. We can't have the spears and the shanties on Friday. We'd have to wait till Saturday, but at least we can show them how they hang, how it works, the whole deal,
Okay. So what I've done is you'll be getting this. It's been taking me a couple days to get it all filled in. I took my ugly email and I dropped all this stuff into this spreadsheet, breaking it down from the start to the finish, the different areas, who, all the contact information, what we still need, who's in charge of what, like what I need to do as far as marketing, getting with the TV and radio station, news channels, all the supplies, all of that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but it's just broken down in a much clearer view, including stuff like that. Like, what should we be talking about, on that Thursday night, coming up with a waiver. I think, who was it? And I wanted to write this in here. Somebody had said, oh, maybe it was Dennis, that talked about a waiver. There was some sort of waiver. They said we could use that as an example. Oh, I know. It was somebody else is doing maybe it's Jason, who does a veteran.
Yeah.
It's not
He does
a
the
walleye
muskie.
thing. What is it?
He does a muskie.
Muskie. So I will get, because they must have a waiver of some kind. They're out on the water. So
Yeah.
from Jason. So let's back up and talk about shanties then for a second. So five shanties. I had the name of somebody that I must have called them about rentals. And it looks like the price that I had on there was only $200 a day. I was thinking it was like way more expensive than that, but I don't know where they are. Did either of you have more of a local shanty rental person that I could call, and I could just put them on reserve until they, there must be a cancellation time period of some kind, I would think.
I've got 2 of them in the area that I can check out. I didn't think it was that high to rent one, honestly.
Maybe it's not for you, and I'm sure everybody's a little different. I mean, some of the prices I heard were like astronomical, and I'm like, well, that's just somebody taking advantage of people. But then there was other ones that were, a bit lower. So I'm happy to call somebody, but if you know someone, and we just for now, until we have a chance to talk to the Quinny people, or we, establish, hey, we could use a couple of our shanties. Obviously, it would be better for everybody to have the same shanty if we can, or you know what I mean, a regular shanty.
Well,
especially now that I know that we're about halfway financially, I think I can work in some other donations, as well as I think Cody and I are going to find some success with going locally to some of these businesses.
Well, I was going to talk to my buddy. He knows the one guy down by Fisherman's Road that rents them out.
Yes.
He had a friend of his died, so he was going to a funeral, and then with Christmas and everything, he's been kind of busy. So I'll be seeing him Saturday. So I'm going to talk to him and see if he can contact that guy to see if he's got some extra ones. And then I'll contact the guy in Pipe that I know. The one, I do have one of the guys in my group. I think he's got an extra shanty that he may not be using. So we might be able to get that. And my cousin always had an extra shanty too.
Okay.
So I'll check with him, maybe I can grab that one as well.
Otherwise, I'm going to drive down the lake road where they have 7 million shanties, and I'll just knock on every door and be like, are you using all of those shanties? And they're not.
Yeah. For the guys with double shanties, if they need someone to come and pull it, just let me know. That way they don't got to pull one and go back home and get the second one.
Right.
That's not an issue for me. Another thing is, the hardware store in Brilliance donating a tank of propane, but they just got to supply the propane tank. Like, say for your shanty, if you can get it to somebody local, I'll pick them up on like Wednesday, and Friday I'll have them all full when we do cut it.
Okay. Gotcha.
That way, he wasn't sure, and he brought that up, and I'm like, well, that's a good, because that adds up quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Way quick. Yes, that's huge. So
and I think I asked him about the ice cleats just because of safety, and you don't know how people are. I asked him for a price on them.
Okay.
He ain't giving me a price, so I think he's just gonna be a slick little dick and order them. I told him 10 large and 10 extra large.
Okay. That was going to be my question for you as I'm going through the notes. I'm like, do I really need to know their size, or do they come in like a small, medium, large type thing?
Yeah, small, medium, large. But I figured 10 and 10 would be good. That should suffice.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I did call and tried to reach Chad over at Dutch's Trading Post about the safety bags, but he had gone for the day, so I'll call him tomorrow. He sounded pretty adamant that if he could get them from the person, from the company, that he would provide those for us. So, all right. So on shanties, then do you think we should just wait a little bit before I call anybody about a rental type thing? Lee, you want to check with your folks first and see?
Yeah, let me find out what's going on first. I'll have answers for sure by next week.
That's awesome. And then in the meantime, I don't know, when is the next Quinny Fishing Club meeting there?
Next Thursday.
Just next Thursday.
So
Okay.
I'll touch base with you next Friday for sure about that portion. I'm
Okay.
sure we can get 5 guys out of there.
Do you think I should come? Like, I can come if you want, unless you guys are like, no, there's just enough testosterone to go around there.
It don't matter. It's up to you.
It's a nice group. I wasn't sure, like, should I be, you know what I mean? Should we all go and,
but I figured I was going to go for sure and leave it up to you. That way, it don't look like we came knocking on their door and now we're not coming back until the day of the event.
Exactly.
And guys got questions and
yeah.
I mean, granted, Dennis will be there, but he doesn't know everything.
Yes. And I have been in contact with a couple of the guys because I had sent a message on Facebook saying who's got some email addresses that I can keep everybody in the loop or whatever. And so I had gotten 2 names, Mark and Mike.
Could be.
But yeah, I totally think like if we want this to be a good, solid partnership, and they're going to be, it's going to be beneficial for everyone. I'm really happy to. Let me just look at the schedule to make sure I don't make promises I can't keep. Thursday, the 6th.
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to drive?
I don't care. What does Quinn work that day?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Quinn.
Okay.
Yeah, he likes you. Have you seen him over at the grocery store?
I don't know. I really don't go in there.
Oh. Well, I'll put it in the calendar. So between your folks there, Lee, and between Quinny Fishing Club, I feel like we should be able to drum up something. And otherwise, I still feel like there's still time. There's still time. There's plenty of shacks out there. I haven't made a post about it because I just didn't want to do it until I was certain we needed to, and I want, as much as possible, being self-sufficient without going out there, you know what I mean? Because then it gives it so much of a more solid presence and then people will be more likely to, jump on board. So far, it's incredible how many people have been super, but supportive, but like anything else, that there's a lot of people that will want to get involved and will want to sponsor, but we'll wait to see how it goes first. And then if it's successful, they'll be like, okay, I'm going to get on board. That's how a lot of our donors are. They're like, I've been watching for a couple of years. I wanted to make sure you weren't a fly by night before we make a donation, of some kind. So then once we put out our needs, that we're looking to get our own fleet, of shanties or whatever, I think people are going to be receptive to that after the fact, once they see. So yes, I'm filling in all the things here. I was glad to see that we have a good chunk of money anyway.
Well, expect a couple hundred coming in from out of Pennsylvania.
Who's in Pennsylvania?
That family I took out yesterday.
Oh, they came from Pennsylvania?
Well, his family is here. And she ice fished as a kid with her grandpa and never learned how to. So she put a post out and I ended up getting contacted about it.
Oh, that's awesome.
But they wanted to give Nevaeh more money, and I said no. I said, if you want to do that, I said donate it to House in the Woods.
That's right. That's right. What were their names? Just so I can be.
Amanda and Cody, but it's not a D, it's a TE.
What's their last name?
Jordan.
Jordan. Okay, I'll watch for it. Thinking of the safety wise, I mean,
Nope.
talking about it ahead of time right now, what are some possible risks that we should be considering with regards to this function? We have insurance, but what are some things when you guys think about obviously being on the ice? What are some things that we should be thinking of that we should be thinking of ahead of time? You know, like if things that could happen out there. First of all, what do you use for a bathroom out there? Somebody eventually is going to have to go number 2. And what do you do out there?
5-gallon pail with a Walmart bag in it.
Bingo.
If we're all together, I have one of those. Now, granted, if it's not a blizzard out there, I have one of those shower little toilet house things. Do you think that would
Everyone
be?
gets out of the shack, and if you got to take a shit, you quick take a shit and you're done.
Okay, I'm good with that. I mean, I won't be
Right?
in there, so I'm good with it.
I mean,
Okay, so I gotta make sure we got enough 5-gallon buckets. Is that what you're telling me?
no, I got fucking plenty.
You do?
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it on the list here.
And I actually have a toilet seat designated just for the 5-gallon pail.
Nice. Look at you.
Well,
Okay,
that's
now
the
that we've got the emergency poop out of the way, what other possible?
The other biggest thing would be our volunteer drivers that are driving out on the lake to know how to identify a bad crop. I would say that's our other biggest concern.
Knowing how to identify a what?
A bad crack, not to drive over.
Well, I think I'm going to be posting some of that kind of stuff like on the Facebook page. Not that everybody's going to see it, but I'm going to post some stuff out there. Do you think on that Thursday night when we have like speaking and we talk about it, is there a really good video that's short that we could show? Like that's something real, real that people need to be aware of. It's worth taking the time to show something like that if there's a good quality clip out there.
Well, are these volunteers going to be actually driving on the lake, or are they just getting them to the lake and the guys are jumping in our vehicles and going out with us?
I think the attendees will probably be going with you, the shanty people, except for the fact that we have some that aren't going to have a shanty owner with them. So maybe they're out on one of the side-by-sides, maybe, because we're going to have a handful of side-by-sides out there. And so half of them will be with you, or unless you have room in the truck for 2 or 3 of them, maybe.
See, that's what I was going to say is like, say like in our group, say there was one shanty where you're going to have 2 vets in and another vet's with me. Well, the 3 vets can jump in with me and drive out with me. I agree with Cody. Unless they know what they're doing. I mean, even the experienced guys can drop them in, but I don't know that you want people that really don't know what they're doing driving around out there, because that could be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
So here's a thought on that front. If how far out from land are you actually fishing? Where are your like shanties? How far out is it? Why are you laughing at me? Shut up.
Where the fuck are the sturgeon gonna be? You can't answer that question.
Well, I know I don't know exactly. I'm just thinking like side by sides. We have some people that are coming to volunteer. They're from other organizations. They're not necessarily used to being on the ice per se, but if we got 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever, is it close enough that they could hop in the side by side and take it from shore out there, or no?
It depends. I mean, we're usually somewhere within 2 miles. but we've been known to go out 3 or 4.
Okay, so then here's my next question. I do a lot of talking with my hands and a lot of
No, it was your
acting with
face.
my eyes.
Right.
You're what?
It was your face when you said 2 miles.
Yeah, I was like, so the question is, then do we really need volunteers even out on the ice? Like realistically, if you have your shanty person and you got myself and Cody and maybe Chris or somebody else bebopping around to the other shanties that don't necessarily have someone in them with them, do we really even need any other volunteers out there?
Not really.
Not on the ice. No, like I said, I the way you were talking, I was just thinking you had volunteers to get them from, the hotel or whatever to like for us down by Jim and Linda's. And then, like I say, we could just have them, we can meet them on shore, whatever. Everybody jumps into vehicles and then they're going out with us.
I think for the most part, they're going to be driving themselves. Most of the people are from Wisconsin. So if we have them buddy up from the hotel down to Pipe.
Nap can fit 3 in his car.
And I'll have mine. So.
Yeah, I don't really see a need for any of those guys having to go out on the lake.
Lemke don't know it yet, but he's taking 3 too.
Who? Who doesn't
John
know?
Lemke.
Oh. So that simplifies it in my mind for me, because I was like, who do I need out there? Really nobody. If anything, have them, because
So tell
honestly,
me this
some of them were gonna fish and stuff while they were here too. And I was like, well, I don't know what I need you for. What I did ask Chris, while he's actually out in the tree stand tonight, but I said, what if we harvest some sturgeon or whatever? I'm like, can I put you and the Untamed crew along with the high school fishing team in charge of cleaning the fish? Like, just get her done. Like at that point, like, we don't really have a place that's close by that makes it efficient enough to have them involved in it per se, unless it was really nice out. In that case, I mean, do people clean them right out on the? I mean, you couldn't package them out there, but I know they got to spray them down. Okay, so my bottom line is, I'm less concerned about them actually participating in the cleaning of the fish. I'm more concerned about just have somebody clean the fish and package it up, and maybe freeze it. And that way they can take it home when they go. So in my mind, I was like, well, seeing that the Untamed crew doesn't, they'll be out there on their own, basically. If they want to be on the lake, they'll be out there, but they won't necessarily be participating with us. And then if we get a fish, then they've got time. Then they can go and take it and do whatever they got to do with it. What do you guys think?
Good to go.
Unless
Keep
anybody's
it simple.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Then figure it out for next year. Like, okay, if we really want to make it a full experience of we're going to have you clean the fish and everything, then I'll figure that out. Next year is like, where's a good place to do it?
Well, and then next year too, we'll have more time. I'm sure a guy or two's got a big shop at Clinty that, throw them $100 if we have to. And
Right. Come on the back side of this and be like, okay, so this worked good, that didn't work good, or this is what, where we need to go from here. Exactly. Kind of grow on it. Start basic and then go from there. So
use the KISS method this year.
What's that?
Keep it simple, stupid.
I like that. I know. I do tend to overcomplicate things sometimes. Just now I can see you. Now, even though you're not making noise, I can see you. Verbiage. The only reason I didn't send you something on the poster, I think, because were you going to talk to Jason about verbiage about the whole sturgeon contest thing that Dennis wants to run?
Nope, I was gonna call the warden and I forgot. I'll do that in the morning.
Good. So
hey,
I
Lee,
was
what do you think of this? So there's a guy from Maine that got killed in action with a Wisconsin convoy. What do you think about, Dennis talked about having that sturgeon contest for all veterans at Rip
Are you
Inlet?
are you talking about Richard Parker?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
What do you think about us naming that contest after Parker?
Well, were you reading my mind? Because and maybe we already talked about it a little bit, but I definitely wanted to do something in his honor. And I was going to ask you guys what you thought. I don't know. Lee, did you hear us talk about that
Yeah,
before?
you told me about that last
Okay.
week.
Okay. So the skinny on that is also, Cody, I don't think that I talked to you because you were going to be going to dinner with John. I reached out to Richard Parker's mom on Facebook and hadn't heard back from her and sent her a couple messages. And then finally I reached out to her husband. And
Yeah.
then the husband responded back almost immediately and said, "I'm sorry to say she passed away in May."
Okay.
He said, "I'm sorry that you found out this way." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry for the timing because it was right before Christmas." I said, "But I wanted to share this message that I sent to her." So I sent the message I sent to her to him saying how he's obviously, he's such a huge part of this event, and not many people, a lot of people know him, but I feel like it's so much of a message that there's a message there. I don't know who it's for. I don't know what for, but we need to honor him in some way. And so he responded back and put all these crying emojis and said, he said she would be so happy if we did that to honor him. And I just have to figure out, because I think that's his stepdad. So I'm going to try to figure out if his father is still alive. So he said, I'll talk. He said, "I just would like to talk to you about it another day." It was just like super emotional for him to hear about it and stuff. So I didn't tell, and it was John, correct? John's the one that was his.
Yeah.
At one
put it
point,
this
he was
way,
his.
it was either Parker going out or it was John going out. Parker was by the book, deflate tape on the turret, and he took that EFP. John and I both had the same mentality. If we get hit, we get hit no matter what, we're getting fucked. Where we both sat on the top of the turret, used the 50 cal as our leg rest till we needed it.
Mhm.
And John probably would have got nothing out of that incident, but it took part.
I know. And so I was sad to hear that his mom had passed. I'm like, it's too bad that it was, just shortly after. But there's a lot of things. So to go back to your question, yes, I absolutely think we should do something that we can carry forward each year and make it part of an annual memorial that we can do for him. So however we want to do that, I'm cool with whatever. I think that would be pretty neat if it is something, right, that you could pass on with his name. So yeah, let's do something along that lines.
I'll call the warden in the morning. I wrote it on the fridge, so it's staring at me. So
okay. And then also when I was talking to that Tammy, her husband, who was a veteran, had a couple years ago been planning to take out a vet. He kept talking about wanting to take a vet out with him sturgeon spearing. And she said, coincidentally enough, this was the year that he was going to take a veteran out sturgeon spearing. So she said, it's really, near and dear to her heart that this is happening at the same time, even though her husband wasn't able to do that. So, so nothing like in memorial of him, she doesn't want, but it's just interesting, if you think about all the pieces that come together and the timing of stuff. It's
well, does she still have his
coincidence?
She still have his shanty?
No, she just sold it. She said, "I just sold it last fall," and she said it was like the Taj Mahal. I'm like, girl, why'd you do that? So, but there's more shanties out there, but she was really, 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 really adamant that we should let them know what we have in mind as far as what we're still in need of. So I think unless you guys would disagree, I think we hit the pavement on the money, and then ask her if maybe she could help to get some sponsors for those meals.
Yeah.
Because that way it's easier too to put somebody's name on it. If a company wants to, or to sponsor it, then we can put their name right on it.
Well, Bertatello's also told me if we need money to let him know. So I'm gonna hit him up for $1,000.
That would
I'm
be
gonna tell
fantastic.
him-
That would be really fantastic. And along with that, I mean, you have the sponsorship list, but along with that, they get personal information on one of the veterans. So gosh,
Well, they're
if they would
giving
do
us
that,
all
that would
those
be awesome.
pizzas too. They're doing
Yes,
all the
I know.
lunches. So I don't want to ask for too much, but I'm just gonna say we're kind of $1,000 would be nice, but we don't need it. We'll figure
Right.
another way.
Yeah, you could just say we're like halfway to our goal. We have 6 weeks left.
Yeah.
And every little bit helps, and certainly we'll give them all the love that we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be super, super helpful. But otherwise, I think that's kind of where we're at here. I have a lot of missing pieces in between here. But I think it's not rocket science. Like, it's just a matter of, filling in the blanks, see what we need for supplies. Cody, you and I can talk about like basic supplies that we might need. Waivers, getting the waivers and getting things pieced together, getting those packages put together for the vets. But right now, it looks like we have a lot in their bag. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find the bag in this super simple spreadsheet I have.
Guaranteed it ain't fucking simple.
It is. Trust me, it is. So I found some House in the Woods sling sacks when I was in the attic the other day when I was in Maine. So I brought all those home. So those are like camo and they've got House in the Woods logo on them. So each one will have a hand carved decoy from Quinny Fishing Club, from Lee, the Pete boot dryers. Another from Tammy Mackey, Coldwell Real Estate. They're working on another decoy they can actually use, like rather than that other decoy. They probably don't want to put that down in the drink. Rip and Lips was going to be working on a commemorative beanie with the, kind of like the sweatshirts where it's, why can I never remember the name of that? Where it's right in the material.
It's
whatever.
embedded.
Yes, whatever that's called. And then the sweatshirts for each one of them. The ice picks safety bag. Hey, cookies. Let's talk about Sturgeon cookies. Where the heck did you find that cutout thing?
Fucking Facebook where I find everything.
I love that. So that means we have to have a cookie making night. Actually, who would agree to do that with me?
Yeah, I already told her she's in the hook for it. Lee, that's the cookie cutter. And my finger is 3 inches.
I love that. So we'll have to figure out how we want to decorate them and stuff like that. And then I'll get the supplies and she and I can do that. And we can package them for the volunteers and the veterans.
That kid was only 16, 17. And he didn't charge me for him. That's why I immediately put a shout out to him on Facebook.
He didn't charge you for it?
Nope.
Oh, nice. That's so nice. People are so generous. If given the opportunity, they're so generous. So also we'll have the t-shirts in there and then maybe those shoe things. And I'm sure that we'll probably have some more things as we go along, but we're building our list of things for the raffle ticket and also the baskets. This lady messaged me with a beautiful, like patriotic quilt, like it's super, super cool. So that'll be good for the basket raffle. So as we get closer, as we turn the page on 2022, I'll start to post things out that are going to be on the raffle versus on the
ticket
in the basket auction or whatever. So are you sleeping? Oh,
I'm just fucking beat from yesterday.
Oh, okay. I won't take it personally. It's like
No, that drive home last night kicked my ass.
Oh, I bet. Oh yeah, you're outside all day long and then
I was in Wausau. We pulled off the lake at 7:00 last night, Lee. 3-hour drive in that shit storm.
Yay. Well,
And was
I actually, when you were talking about that, I was like, I seen that post and I didn't know anybody up in that area or whatever. So you ended up going up there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It was good though. It was a good time.
I think also what will happen here, and this happens in Maine, so I know it's going to happen here as well over time, is you just get random calls. They're like, hey, I've got a cabin in such and such place. I never go there. There's a lake here. There's whatever. We got a call today. Somebody's like, I'm up in zone 1 where there's tons of moose and we have this cabin back in the woods. You're welcome to use it if you want, and you never know. So we're just basically building this big long list of people that have land and cabins. And then when an opportunity presents itself, it's like, oh, hey, Joe, can we use your cabin? Yeah, sure. No problem. So I'm hoping that's kind of what will develop here as well, is just more and more opportunities. Like Cody had somebody say, hey, I'd be interested in taking somebody out coyote hunting sometime. And somebody else had called and inquired about how they start giving away, bear hunts, different stuff like that. So if nothing else, it's just, it's getting people thinking, about how they should be giving back.
So in Pennsylvania, there's none of this.
None of what?
Like outdoor retreats for vets that he's aware of.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, not like Pennsylvania, but it's not something that people even write. If a lot of veterans say, I didn't even know this kind of thing existed. I mean, you might have more of them like in Texas where they have tons of hogs and people are like dying for you to kill them.
Yeah.
That's a little bit
populated area. Yeah.
But
I'm trying to hook them up with that TFO, the Fallen Outdoors.
Yep.
Yeah, for the most part, they're pretty good. They have in the sense that they have so many out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a start. And then you kind of, once you get into it, each organization is a little different. And if it's not your fit, then you can find someone else, to hook up with. But at least then you're kind of in the mix and you can kind of start watching, and it's good. There's a lot of them out there. We're just trying to be, we're really trying to grow our connection with a lot of the organizations, or some of them that aren't, there are no alcohol and no drugs, just because even if they are, like, they're doing good things. There's a lot of them that do allow drinking and they're doing great things. But as we grow as well and we increase the amount of money that we have to be able to send people places, as a non-drinking location, we can't send them to somewhere that has that, so it's like, we want to support them all. We'll support them all, but we wouldn't physically be paying for someone to go to one of those locations. We're trying to increase, and really highlight for people the benefit. I mean, I like a good drink like the next person, but there's a time and a place for it. And that's just not it, but anyway, it's good. It's so good. It's all wonderful. Thank you for everything, you guys. I'm getting excited. I'm getting scared, but I'm getting excited.
I actually pulled the ice saw out the other day.
You did?
Fired it up, made sure everything's ready to rock and roll. Gotta start checking out the equipment.
Yeah, and actually, I think maybe we chatted about it briefly, but there are some other. That's another thing. Cut.
Lee, does any of your ice saws or your group's ice saws need a tune-up?
They're brand new. Just got them last year.
Okay.
Boy, if they need a tune-up now, I'd be depressed.
So a couple people did mention they would be willing to help us cut in. So I don't know if it's going to be necessary or not necessary, but I've got at least 2 people that said that they would.
I know Dennis was, he was looking if he had some guys that had shandies or whatever, because he had asked me if I could come up and saw them in or whatever. So we may need them. I guess part of it's going to be in our group. We won't, because we've got 2 saws already.
Okay.
So, and like I said, when we get going, it's like we've normally got whatever 5 or 6 in our group. Within a couple hours, we got everybody set up.
Yeah.
And that was with 1 saw. So, and we have a system. It's like I just go from hole to hole to hole, just keep sawing and going around. Yeah. But we do it a little bit different this year to make sure everybody can see how it's done and whatever.
Yeah. I'm really, really crossing my fingers. We're able to locate some other ones to put them right in that same spot by you, because that would be the dream situation, is just having everybody close by, close
2
to each other. So,
locations and done.
Yeah.
yep, exactly. So the good thing is, I guess, that there will be those other people. Then I won't put them down as volunteers, but I'll say, because some of them want to come out, like I said, they might come out and want to film or something like that. So they're kind of going to be on their own then. They're not going to, it's kind of like you're out there on your own behalf. But they're available if we need something, runners for something, or in case something happens, it doesn't hurt to have extra people around. But then that also gives them, some of them are coming from out of state, and they're actually staying up at, what's that, Cody? What's that little lake that, oh, no, I think it's on Long Lake. One of the ladies from Xander owns a house on Long Lake, or that family does. Anyway, so
Wenzel?
What's that?
Wenzel?
Yes. Is it Beth Wenzel?
Yeah.
Has a place that they're gonna let those guys from Untamed rent that for the weekend, since it's for the Sturgeon spearing thing, to get film and to help out if they can. And worst case scenario, they're there for the evening to hang out, with veterans and just be helpers, when there could be a big crowd, when we have the meals and stuff like that. So that'll be good to have them around during that time. So otherwise, I will just keep working on this little thing and dropping in bits and pieces and see what I'm missing. But otherwise, I'll plan on getting some banners ordered, and I'll send them to you, Cody, beforehand. But I'm going to see how long I can wait too, because I wanted to get as many logos on them as we can before we order it. So if we're kind of pounding the pavement the next couple of weeks, hopefully we can get some more.
Here's the thing, though.
My new logo too.
What's that?
I should get you my updated logo.
Yes, please do.
But I think
That's
you
awesome.
must have pulled mine off my Facebook page or something like that.
Probably.
Which is fine. It's just that we've changed it from what's on.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know which one I got up on the Facebook page, but
Yes.
I'll send you when I send you, because now that we're talking about it, I got to email you the emails, phone numbers, names, and all that kind of stuff. So then I'll include the logo with that as well.
Okay, that'll be awesome.
Do we
That'll be
talk?
awesome.
Who's doing the banner? Your brother?
No, I was either gonna just contact one of the printing companies around here, Xander or somebody else.
See if see if they can make it where we can put removable logos and
That's
just
what I
have
was
the
thinking too.
base
Yeah,
of it, and then we can fuck with the logos later. Get the banner up. We can add the logos later.
mm-hmm.
If we got to pull the banner at night, we'll let it get room temp, put the logos on, and then go put it back out in the morning.
Yeah.
One night,
I was
Yeah,
I was actually thinking more of like one of those. Well, I'm getting banners, but also I was kind of thinking in front of those businesses, do we go like with a smaller one of those like plastic corrugated signs, sponsor of, House in the Woods, Veteran Retreat, whatever, Sturgeon Veteran Retreat, something that's kind of smaller. It's not going to take up their whole front of their building, because most of them don't really have a ton of space. I mean, Schumacher Shanty does, but I think Rip and Lips was looking more for like that's 3x5 kind of thing, just to show that they're like a sponsor of it. And probably the same for Cosmos, because they don't have like a lot to tie things to or anything over there. So
no.
And also Tammy mentioned that granted it's winter, but they have the American Legion, or somebody has a color guard. Like if the weather was reasonably decent, somebody, or maybe they could even come up to our dinner on Thursday. I don't know. She just said that she has connections with them. I did leave a message for the Eagles Club that's right next to the hotel up there. I just called them before and left a message for the lady and mentioned that we have people coming in Thursday night. Could we host something there? Because it would be nice space wise. And then, maybe just have a little meal there, probably do something easy. And there I could just bring it in. Like I could probably plan something ahead and just bring it all in rather than buy it from them, but more
Yeah.
to come on that. More to come. Okay, guys. Anything else at the moment?
Not right now.
No.
Did everybody have a good Christmas? I feel like Christmas didn't even happen. It went so fast.
Yeah, that was a blur.
Yeah.
I know. So, all right. Well, yes. So let's talk more about the memorial thing. And I don't know if you I didn't say anything to John about Richard Parker's mother yet. I was just I was waiting.
I just got home from his place. I gotta go back Monday morning.
Okay.
He's
So-
in an old fuck for electrical, and I'm pulling him out of it. So
Oh, well, that's very nice. Where does he live?
Plymouth.
Okay. So I thought I should probably call and talk to him because he had said at one point, he's like, it's always been kind of one of my dreams to drive up there on a motorcycle and talk and meet his family.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling particularly bad about that.
Yeah. He'll understand.
Yeah. So, but like I said, that's why I wanted to find out if his dad is still around.
Yeah.
So, or just his stepdad. Maybe his stepdad's been his dad. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
So
gonna
anyway,
go talk to Total Travel, see if they'll sponsor 2 or 4 flights.
that would be amazing. So you think I should hold off on booking something?
Yeah, give me till next week, Wednesday.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you so much. I will get back to work here and I'll send you some updates. Otherwise, we'll just stay in touch on this stuff and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Angie.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.